So, why would you want to run a systems image? Well, because it can fix slow PCs, computer crashes, viruses, malware, spyware, hard drive failure, software programs and apps not working properly, all kinds of errors. All problems can be caused by software and or hard drive. And some of these problems can also be caused by hardware, like motherboards, RAM, power supply and graphics card. And sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's software or hard drive or some other hardware problem. But in my experience, it is usually either a software problem or a hard drive problem. And these two areas cause 90% of all PC problems. Don't rule out the hardware for causing problems, but aren't you better off checking and running a systems image which has a high percentage of solving the problem? It makes sense to me to run the systems image, and on top of that, if you are making proper backups of your data daily or weekly, then you can transfer your data which was backed up back onto your PC after running the systems image, and you will then have a fully functional PC again with all your data. An added bonus of running a systems image is that if the systems image did not fix the problem, or you couldn't get the systems image to run because of the problem, then you will know that the problem is definitely hardware. And I'd usually start with the hard drive, because it's the most problematic hardware in a computer. And then if that didn't fix it, I'd move on to, say, the motherboard or possibly the power supply if it's not starting. But as I said, drop me a line and I will see if I can't lead you to a fix for that problem. So with this netbook, the reason I am installing a systems image is because this hard drive, basically this laptop, this netbook, Samsung N110, was bought in 2009. It's now 2013, and the hard drive, this guy, which I've already replaced with a solid state drive, this was clicking every 4 or 5 minutes, so that suggests to me that the hard drive is dying. I know this out of experience. So once you hear little clicks coming in your laptop or your desktop, the problem is the hard drive. So what I done was I replaced the hard drive before it failed completely. And then once you replace the hard drive, but before you replace the hard drive, make sure you make a systems image of your complete computer, say everything on the hard drive. So what you do is you transfer everything. It's like a clone, except you're making it as a systems image and you're putting it on an external hard drive. So what I did was, before I replaced this hard drive which was inside in this laptop, I made a systems image, put it onto this external hard drive, and now the new hard drive is in this netbook. Okay, but there is nothing on that new hard drive because it's new. It's empty of data. So what we need to do is apply the systems image, which will bring back everything that was on this hard drive at the time of making the systems image. And so now I'll be able to reinstall the operating system, programs, and all my data, which is a systems image, which is on this external drive, and I'm going to place it on the hard drive that's in this laptop, this notebook. And the first thing you should always do when you're going to make transfer a systems image onto a hard drive in any computer, desktops included, is make sure you have the power cable in. So with a desktop you'd have to have power going to it. in order to run the system's image also. So we'll just plug it in there. And you'll see a power light coming on. Now, in order to run a system's image on a new hard drive that has no data on it, you have to have a Windows systems repair disk. And I made one of these for it when I was making the system's image. I have videos to that on my website if you want to go and take a look at them, how to make a system's image and make this repair disk. So basically what this does is this gets me into a DOS system where I can apply this image back onto this new hard drive. So you need to make one of these as well when you make one of these systems images. Okay, and you're prompted at the end of systems image to make a systems repair disk. So, and on a netbook you have two options: a bootable flash drive like this one. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're putting this on to this and making this bootable. Okay, so then you can just plug it in, turn it on, and this will run the DOS program that will allow you to use the system's image. But for this exercise, demonstration, I'm going to use one of these. It's an external DVD player. So what I do is we plug this in. So there's 3 USB ports on this Samsung netbook. There's one here and there's 2 here. So I'm going to plug the DVD player in here, this side, so I can get the power and the data connections. And I'll be plugging this guy in on this one, which is the system's image. So now you're all set to run the system's image. Now, before we start, I just want to show you what comes up when you need to run. I'm just going to turn it on there. And you'll see what happens. So I'll just zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. So basically what it's saying there is at the top here on the screen, operating system not found. So there's a hard drive in there, but there's no operating system on it. But there's an operating system on this external drive in the form of a system's image. So I'm going to run that on this. Okay, so system's not found. That's normal when you put in a new hard drive. So now I'm going to attach this guy, the DVD player, external DVD player. And then we're going to put in our disk into it, so we can start the Windows software system. It's based on DOS. You'll see it in a minute anyway. And then we also plug in our external hard drive with the system's image on it. So now what you have to do now is turn off your computer and then turn it on again. and it should give us the option to start from the DVD player. So Windows is loading files, so it's already reading from the, I'll just turn off this so that you can see. So it's loading files there now from the DVD player. Now if it didn't read it straight away, you'd have to go into setup and change the boot record to boot from the DVD player. So there's the Microsoft sign coming up. I'll just zoom out there. So the first thing you will see is this window, and it's just asking you for a keyboard method input, so you can leave it at the default, which is usually US. Just click next, and now what this window is saying, systems recovery option. Use recovery tools that can help fix problems starting Windows. Select the operating system to repair. If your operating system isn't listed, click load drivers and then install drivers for your hard disk. Well, we don't need that option. We need the use recovery tools option, so it's the top one here. Or restore your computer using a systems image that you created earlier. So it's set for this system. That one will work as well, but I want to show you how to get into the DOS system, the Windows 7 system for recovering your computer. Now you can take this option and it'll bring up the external hard drive, but I want to show you how to get into this guy. So there's a few other features in it. So this is your recovery tools, and so you have the option here: startup, repair, systems restore, and then you have the third one here, which is the one we're going to be using, which is systems image. I hope you can see all that. I might zoom out a little bit here. The third one down then is the systems image recovery, which is the one we'll be using, and then Windows memory diagnostic, which is handy to have, and then there's command prompt, which you can use for recovering files or seeing what the problem is, corrupted files and anything like that. So, but this is the one we're going to be using, is systems image recovery. So we're going to click on that guy. And then it's going to scan systems image disk. So what it's doing now is it's going out looking for an external USB hard drive, and it's going to find the one that we made earlier. So now it has found select a systems image, so it's found the image that we have, location, element C, date and time. That was the date we made it, and computer, it's Kevin's PC. So use the latest available systems image recommended, which is that guy there. Now you can select a systems image if you had more than one systems image on this external drive, but the latest one and the only one that's on this external drive is the one that's listed there. Okay, so it's from an element C. So it made the systems image from the C drive of this hard drive from earlier on. Okay. So now what you do now is just click next. So click next, and then this window will come up. Re-image your computer. Choose additional restore options. So you can format and repartition disk. It's not coming up as an option here, it's actually grayed out. So you select this to delete any existing partitions. So if you had if the hard drive, the new hard drive, wasn't a new hard drive, it was taken from another laptop or another computer, you would have this option here for reformatting the drive, but you don't need it in this case because it's a new drive and it has already been formatted. And then there's another option here. If you're unable to select an option above, install the drivers for the disk you are restoring. You might solve the problem. Again, it's just an advanced, so it's thinking that the hard drive that's in there is not working properly, but what it is it's a new hard drive and it's formatted. So all we do here is click on next. Just click next. Now your computer will be restored from the following systems image. Date and time we made the systems image, which was actually yesterday evening at 7 o'clock. So your computer will be restored from the following systems image. So this is the image, date and time that it was made. It's the time that it was made is incorrect, but it is the right image, because I know there's only one image on this external hard drive. Computer, Kevin's PC, which is correct, and that's the volume number of it. Not important. And then just click finish, because I know that this is the correct one anyway. So just click finish and it'll start. It'll give you this little window here. All disks to be restored would be formatted and replaced with the layout and data in the systems image, which is what we have on our external drive. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, because I know it's the correct image, because I made it yesterday from this hard drive, which was the hard drive that was in this laptop. Okay, so just click yes, and then Windows is restoring your computer from the systems image. This might take from a few minutes to a few hours. And now it's preparing to restore your disk. So just a side point here, the new drive that I have in is a solid state drive, and it should speed up the computer by a huge amount. You know, there'll be no sluggishness with solid state drives. They're very quick opening files and programs and all that. So usually with a hard drive, while that's running there, I'm just going to back up here. So usually with hard drives, so the disk running hard drives, they have to pick the information off the disk, and it can be very slow to pick it up. But with solid state drives like this one here, they pick up the information very quickly off this drive and put it on into your RAM so that you can see it on the, and it's very quick. So they are well worth getting, but the problem is their price. They're very pricey. This one cost 170 euros. So that'd be $190 or thereabouts. But they are coming down in price. 3 years ago, this type of solid state drive would have set you back $500–600. So seven. I think it was somewhere around that price tag 3–4 years ago. So this is going to take anything from half an hour, depending on the size of your hard drive. It's going to take anything from half an hour to an hour, maybe a little more. Again, depending on the size of your hard drive. So this one was a 250 gig hard drive. So you can see it there. So, and this one that we're putting it on to is the exact same size. It's just 4 gigs. It's actually not. It's 250 gigs as well. So it should take somewhere within within an hour. Now if I had less information on the system's image, if I had less, just gonna zoom out here again. So if I had less information on the internal hard drive that I made the system's image of, if I had less information on it so that it would be copied, it would be smaller, this would take quicker to run. So usually you should make a system's image when you first get your laptop, so that you have that system's image, and it'll be very quick to transfer. Somewhere in the region of about a half an hour it takes. And then if you make a load of, make sure that you're making backups every week on your computer, so that you're backing up all your data. You will have the data plus your operating system and your programs, and the data at the time of this making the system's image will be on that. And then from that time forward you have a backup of all the data that was on your that you put onto your computer after you made the system's image. Then you will have that data to be able to put it back on the drive after you've ran the system's image, because this wipes everything off a drive if the drive was giving trouble. And then you'd have the data backup to put back on with, after you've put on the system's image, then you put on your data from your backup. I have videos on my website anyway, if you want to go and check them out as well. So I'm going to stop the video here, and we'll come back when this has completed. Okay, thanks for watching.